Goody, everybody. The new Curtis Harding record. This is Matt again. So sorry about last week. I know Fridays we're supposed to upload. I finished the whole video and then deleted the file by accident. So anyway, Curtis Harding is a Michigan-born, just gorgeous artist that really captures the 70s of sound with the soulfulness of just this very southern love. Even though he's not from the South, but it captures this very southern sound of these really funky guitars and it's this beautiful sound. So his new album, Face Your Fear, this fucking wind. His newest album, Face Your Fear, is a beautiful journey of really soft melodies. Not really a lot of upbeat tracks here. A lot of good driving tunes that have a lot of good focus, I think. But for the actual substance of the record, I don't see where he was taking an upbeat approach, at least on most tracks. His voice is just so pristine, and the way that he captures the sound and really makes it his own is perfect. He pays perfect tribute to the sound of the 70s, essentially. And he captures this essence about him that is really almost impossible to capture it. And he doesn't really rip off anything or copy anything, but he makes the sound his own. He opens up with Wednesday Morning Atonement, which has these very Pixar-esque strings in the beginning, and he uses these throughout the album, Face Your Fears, as a method of filling the gaps of sound. And then as soon as the guitar kind of bursts in, this very fuzzy, reverb-heavy guitar, and his voice that just kind of floods the track very slowly with the percussion, it's a very passionate record, but the way that he uses his voice is really the key moment. Curtis Harding is indeed the star of this record, of course, but captures the sound so well, and I just can't stress that enough. Wednesday Morning Atonement is just so strong of an opener. It's really very slow, though. As I stated before, there's not a lot of upbeat tracks here. It's very slow and gradual, but that's where the beauty comes in, and kind of this sound fades in and really just encaptures the record very well. And even on his more upbeat tracks, On and On is the more upbeat first track. It's the third track, I believe, on the set, and it uses these very rambunctious horns and sporadic horns that are filling, at least, but really never overtake anything seriously. They're very strong as well, but they're not as passionate as the guitars and the percussion here, which, even as the percussion lays the backing, it's still very... This is the noisiest place. It's still a very foreground instrument, and surprisingly, even when it takes the back... Can you stop? And even when it takes the background, it really still does capture this singular moment where everything's stringing together and everything's really coming together so well that Harding is just creating this fantastic arrangement of sound and noise behind him that really captures his feelings fairly well and does a fair portrayal, I think, of his actual sound. As I kind of move to the end of the record, I think Curtis Harding does a very good job of making tracks not feel as their filler, but as their multiple segments to one really long track. Every track kind of has the same feeling, at least, and the same kind of passion about it. Even if the tempo's changed, or even if the direction has changed a little bit, it still has that same passion and the same straightforward approach where it's just, he comes in gracefully or he comes in abruptly. And I think that's even on the end of the record whenever he gets into Welcome to My World. Welcome to My World, where he... it's a lovemaking track, I guess, is the easiest way. A lot of the songs here are like, they're good driving at night tracks, but there are some tracks here that are a little like borderline on lovemaking, really like grinding, like guitars that are, I mean, you know what I'm saying. But essentially, this sound is welcome as well, as it is a switch up. And Welcome to My World is that kind of same track where he's kind of explaining this area with, he's with a girl, and it's pretty funny. He uses these like first of all, his voice comes in over the chorus. He's like explaining. It's like, welcome to my world. But it's like his voice is very higher pitched, and it strikes like a gospel-y note. I could see definitely where the influence is from. And then he uses these moans from this female, which are a little like out of the blue, honestly. He kind of talks about spending the night with her, and then it's like, okay, it's implied. And then he just like brings her right up. And you're like, alright. And then it takes this like deep, sudden rise in tempo. It has these cymbal hits that kind of move a little bit faster, where it's more of a tapping. It leads kind of into this final like rephrase of the chorus, back into the welcome to my world, welcome to my world. And then eventually it comes onto the last track here, As I Am, which is again kind of, to be honest, this track was a little lackluster as an ending. I think it would have done better a little bit as a transition into maybe more the middle, only because it doesn't really have anything that's like really extensive or really groundbreaking compared to the rest of the record. I think that Wednesday Morning Atonement is such a strong statement to begin with, and then when he kind of ends the record, it's not really as strong as an ending as I would have assumed he was going to use. And maybe it's just because of the way that it doesn't really change much. It only has like a simple 2 separate instrument sections where his voice is still very graceful on it, and the instruments are done well. I just think it could have benefited from having a little something more is all. But as the silence kind of creeps in, you're left with this feeling of you want to go right back into it, honestly. The Wednesday Morning Atonement is such a good track that brings you right back in. And even As I Am it's an ender, but it's just not an ender that I really thought was as good as it could have possibly been for an ending. For Face Your Fear. I like this record a lot, though, to be honest. It was a record that I can see myself coming back to continuously, and I think that the way that Harding conducts himself on the record is fantastic. I think his vocals are perfect. I'm not really sure who did the instrumentation on this, if he did it himself or if he had a band, but whoever did, the instrumentation is fantastic as well. I still don't do like scores or anything like that, and I'm sorry about last week. Like I said, I really apologize. I couldn't sit through that editing again. I was like so belligerent is a good word. Punching the wall right after you finish. Curtis Harding, Face Your Fear, very good record. If you're into kind of soulful, almost Amy Winehouse sounding style music, instruments, and really the vocals are the thing that stands out the most. So that would be the thing that I would say keeps me coming back to this record again and again. This is Matthew Miramontes, Matt's Music Mind. We're out here. We with the shits. So we're in it for life now, you know. If this doesn't work out, I think I'm just gonna sell soup on the corners and sell my body. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a hint for what's coming out soon. So yeah, next record review is definitely gonna be probably somewhere a little bit grosser. I just wanted to get something a little nice, you know what I mean? The journey here. Sorry if the video's a bit long. So I've been working on length. And I also need to get a microphone because, as you can tell, the audio could be way better for these reviews. So I'm going to work on getting them. Maybe I'll just steal one. I don't know. But alright, Matt's Music Mind, X Curtis Harding. Curtis Harding, X Matt's Music Mind. We're out here. Thank you for watching. So thank you for watching. And don't forget to join the mind. That was fucking corny. Oh well, we have a good time. I gotta walk back downtown. Code Orange, baby.